In the history of modern physics, one of the greatest turning points occurred in the 1920s with the emergence of the Copenhagen interpretation, a foundational theory of quantum mechanics developed by the renowned scientists Niels Bohr and Werner Heisenberg. According to this viewpoint, a quantum system does not exist in a fixed state until it is observed or measured. Prior to that moment, it exists in a superposition, meaning it simultaneously occupies all possible states. But when the act of observation occurs, the probability wave, also known as the wave function, instantly collapses. And the quantum system selects a single outcome to manifest in the real world. This implies that the act of observation itself is the trigger for reality to occur. A concept that shook the entire human understanding of the fundamental nature of the material world. 37 years later, in 1957, physicist Hugh Everett III introduced a completely different perspective, called the many worlds interpretation. According to this theory, when a quantum event happens, instead of collapsing into a single outcome, all possibilities actually occur. The universe does not choose one result but instead branches into multiple parallel realities, each corresponding to a specific outcome. Thus, every possibility truly exists, but in different universes. Whenever we perform a quantum measurement, we only experience one outcome in one branch of the universe, while the other branches continue to exist but remain inaccessible to us. Although these two interpretations stand in opposition, one being the collapse of the wave function, the other infinite branching, they share an important common point. Observation or attention is the decisive factor in what occurs in reality. It is precisely the act of observation that catalyzes a potential possibility into becoming real. This is a profound discovery because it suggests that human consciousness is not merely a passive witness of the universe but an agent capable of directly influencing the universe's unfolding. Today, this is not only discovered by physicists but has also been mentioned in ancient spiritual traditions such as yoga, Buddhism, and Sufism, dating back thousands of years. They all emphasize the crucial role of observation, attention, and awareness, not as a passive tool but as a creative force of reality. By deeply understanding the power of attention, akin to the measurement in quantum physics, we can begin to see clearly that we are co-creators of the world we live in, not merely passive victims of circumstances. One of the core principles emphasized both in quantum science and ancient spiritual traditions is, energy always flows toward where attention goes. The familiar saying, "Where attention goes, energy flows," is not just a motivational slogan but also reflects a profound natural law about how reality is formed in each person's life. We have all experienced moments of feeling stuck, no matter how hard we try to change. The same problems keep recurring, from work, finances, to relationships. The reason is that the energy inside us is blocked, unable to flow. And what determines the direction of that energy flow? It is precisely our attention. If you frequently focus on negative things, such as fear of failure, lack, or feelings of inadequacy, the energy within you will nourish those experiences, causing them to continue repeating in your life. Attention is not merely seeing something but a combination of perception, emotion, and intention. When we place attention on an event, a person, or a feeling, we are pouring life energy into it, intentionally or unintentionally. And the more attention we give, the more it expands and strengthens in our experience. What is noteworthy is that most people are not aware of where their attention is directed. They get caught up in the stream of negative information on social media, anxiety-filled news on television, or unresolved painful memories from the past. Those things invisibly become magnets, pulling energy toward negativity, which then makes negative circumstances more likely to occur. However, when we consciously redirect attention, we can change the flow of energy in our lives. Instead of continuously thinking about what we don't want, like, I don't want to fail, I don't want to be poor, we turn attention to what we truly desire. I want success. I want to live abundantly and meaningfully. This is not denial of reality but a conscious redirection, helping energy within us flow toward positivity, opening new and better possibilities. In summary, attention is a tool for shaping reality. Whether you are using it intentionally or letting circumstances control it, it silently shapes your life every day. When you understand this, you realize you have greater power than you think, by simply learning how to choose where to place your attention. You can change the flow of energy and thereby transform your reality. To understand how we can actively create reality, we first need to clearly recognize the nature of attention, not only as a flow of energy but also as a structure with a classificatory nature. From the combined perspective of quantum science and applied spirituality, attention is not merely a neutral mental stream but includes two main types: polar attention and nonpolar attention. Understanding these two types helps you realize why you keep repeating negative experiences and how to escape them to move into a more positive timeline. Polar attention is a form of attention involving judgment, evaluation, or strong emotions attached. It contains two opposing poles: positive, attracting what is desired, and negative, attracting what is not desired. However, the interesting fact is that the universe does not care whether you feel good or bad. It only responds exactly to what you focus on. For example, if you think too much about, I don't want to lose money, even though it's a negative thought, you are still placing attention on losing money. And the result is attracting more situations where money leaves you. Similarly, if you love creating wealth, you attract opportunities and energies supporting prosperity. In other words, negative attention does not repel negativity, it only strengthens it. In contrast, nonpolar attention is a higher-level form of attention, not attached to positive or negative emotions, not judgmental, and not forcing. This is a state where you allow things to be as they are, neither trying to change nor resist, nor color them with your bias. In this state, events, whether challenges or discomforts, no longer deeply affect your mind. Instead of resisting or trying to turn fate around, you simply observe and accept, thereby helping negative energy dissolve without coercion. The important point is, the more you use polar attention, the more you create push-pull forces and internal conflicts, trapping you in loops of similar realities. But when you begin shifting to the nonpolar state, you release the lock on stuck energy, allowing yourself to gently escape negative scenarios and move toward new possibilities. Thus, you no longer remain a victim of circumstances but become an active creator of reality through conscious choice about where to place your attention. In summary, Understanding and distinguishing these two types of attention is the key to mastering reality. Every thought, every feeling you send into the universe carries a clear message, not about how you feel but about what you focus on. And that silently writes the story of your life. One of the most vivid and inspiring examples of how attention creates reality is the transformation story of an author who went from living in fear of failure to becoming a creator of great financial success. Interestingly, the change did not come from breakthrough business strategies but from a profound inner shift in attention. When starting the journey of leaving a 9-to-5 job to pursue freelancing, the author set a fairly specific goal: to earn $5 a month, equivalent to the offered salary from a company after graduation. He wanted to prove to his parents, who held traditional mindsets, that success does not necessarily have to be linked to stability. However, in the first several months of entrepreneurship, all his attention was sucked into fear of failure, fear of not earning enough money, fear of rejection, fear of inadequacy. This led to a common phenomenon many people have experienced: the more you fear something, the more it happens. In the fateful month of May, he did not get a single contract, revenue was zero. This was the moment he hit rock bottom, where his greatest fear became reality. But instead of continuing to struggle, he let go, not giving up the dream, but letting go of resistance, letting go of obsession with failure. And a miracle happened. From June onward, income started soaring, from $8 to $12, then $20 in just a few months. 6 months later, he had his first $100 month. Why such a spectacular leap? Because from that moment on, all his attention was no longer spent fighting what he did not want, failure, but was redistributed to what he truly wanted to create, success. When fear no longer occupied his mind, creative energy and inspiration began to flow back. He was no longer selling because he needed money, but sharing value with confidence and inner freedom. This completely changed how others perceived him, and opportunities began to pour in. The profound lesson here is: when attention is no longer sucked into resistance and anxiety, you release the entire creative energy inside to manifest a new reality. You do not need to do more, you only need to let go in the right place. The shift of attention from fear to desire, from coercion to acceptance, from lack to abundance, is the starting point of every transformation in personal life and career. After understanding that attention is the core factor determining manifested reality, the question arises: how to effectively control and redirect attention? The answer lies in a very simple but profound method: accept and redirect. This is a practical tool to transform negative situations into opportunities, release energy trapped in fear, and guide it toward what you truly want to create in life. Step 1: fully accept the present. Most of us, when facing challenges, fall into resistance, unwilling for it to happen, denying it, or trying to change it immediately. However, resistance is what prolongs the problem. Meanwhile, acceptance, at a deep level, is the act of surrendering the battle with reality. When you dare to look directly at what is happening, feel it without avoidance, without labeling it good or bad, you shift from polar attention to nonpolar attention. This helps dissipate attachment to negative energy. Like an Aikido move, you do not fight the attacking force but simply withdraw from its path. As a result, you no longer get caught in the whirlpool of suffering. Step 2. See the situation as a hidden blessing. Once you have achieved acceptance, you will have enough mental space to reinterpret the circumstances. Ask yourself, what is this teaching me? Or, is there a good possibility hidden behind this event? Sometimes, what seems like a failure opens the way for a better path or helps you change perception and develop inner strength. Importantly, how you interpret circumstances determines your next emotions and actions, leading to completely different results. Step 3. Redirect attention to what you desire. When you have released energy from resistance and negativity, you can actively shift all your attention to what you want to create. This is when you set new intentions clearly and strongly but without rigid attachment. You do not need to force it to happen but only keep steady attention on the desired outcome and let energy naturally flow toward it. From a state of inner equanimity, you move into active creation, where reality begins to reflect your new frequency. In summary, accept and redirect is not just a mental technique but a powerful life strategy to break free from old loops and move toward a new timeline where reality aligns better with your deepest desires. Instead of fighting what you don't want, accept it, transform it, and channel energy to what you truly want. This is how those who master their lives operate, not by force but through awareness and correct direction of attention. From both the viewpoint of quantum science and ancient spiritual traditions, attention is not merely a simple mental function but the fundamental creative force shaping the reality we live in. Whether you are experiencing joy, fear, success, or failure, all are direct consequences of where you placed your attention in the past. Like a quantum mirror, the universe does not respond to your wishes by words but reflects the energy frequency of what you continuously observe, feel, and think. Therefore, ancient wisdoms such as yoga, Buddhism, Sufism, and even Zen meditation focus on training mindfulness and attention. They understand that whoever controls attention controls reality. When you learn to observe everything with a balanced mind, unattached and non-judgmental, you begin to break free from repetitive cycles of the old reality. From there, you no longer get swept away by circumstances but become a co-creator with the universe.